Hey, guys, it's Juanita Coley here, the contact center whisperer, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting. I am sitting down with Barry, the CFO of Five9. Barry, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. You could be anywhere. I'm sure you got plenty of interviews to do, plenty of people asking for your time, but you thought it not robbery to sit down with me. So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm not just excited, I'm ecstatic. This is a rare opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right. So we're gonna hop right. People don't generally wake up, Barry, and like, oh, I want to be the CFO of a company, right? Like that's not what children are waking up saying they want to be. They're like, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever they see on TV. So I'm interested to know more about your background, your history. Like, what made you choose a CFO? What was your journey into CFO, the kingdom of CFO?
You made me think there for a moment, Juanita, about the country and western songs. So don't let your boys grow up to be cowboys, let them be doctors and lawyers and such. So in my case, my father was an accountant, so working with numbers all the time. I grew up in South Africa, and I knew that I would not be staying there for my adult life, and so I needed to pick a profession that would allow me to go international. And that's, you can do that as a doctor, for example, but you have to get certified, if you will. And with accounting, it's a worldwide language of numbers ever since the Venetians invented it back in the 1400s. Double entry bookkeeping,
Yes.
it works. So that's why I came. That's why I went there, and also have um, relatively low ambiguity tolerance. And so with numbers, it's black and white. Absolutely.
So, Barry, did I hear you say you grew up in South Africa?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we got it. See, this is why it's 5 and 9 now. You see what I'm talking about? Okay. So tell me more about that. Like, tell me more about like how long did you stay in South Africa? When did you come? Like, tell me. I'm interested.
I actually grew up in a country, more precisely in Namibia, which is between Angola, a
Okay.
Former Portuguese colony, and South Africa. And in Namibia, I just knew that I wanted to study business. The best business schools were in America and still are, I believe. And I was lucky enough to be accepted at one. My parents, for my eternal gratitude, were willing to make the sacrifices because you don't get government aid and all that sort of thing. It's out of their pockets, and he wasn't an extremely wealthy man, but put a very high value on the education and was willing to pay for that. And came over to this great country. I didn't know a single person at all because we didn't have TV in South Africa. We didn't have any, very much news, etc. And I just fitted in.
You've been a CEO. I mean, a CFO at 5 9 for how long now?
So I had a little bit of an atypical career when I worked for one company called FMC Corporation, a major conglomerate, for 21 years, and I really wanted to be a public company CFO, and it it eventually dawned on me and my wife that that was not going to happen. And she put her foot down, saying, "You got to get moving." And we were living in Brussels at the time, and it's not easy finding a job in America from Brussels. The time zone difference at the minimum makes it difficult. But she insisted, thank God, and I managed to find a job with a company called Logitech, the computer peripheral maker, and came to the Valley. And after having been in one company for 21, 22 years, I then was at five different companies in about 10 years, taking public, selling them to other companies. And then I was lucky enough to meet Mike Birkland, and he and I just sort of hit it off. And he recruited me in January of 2012 to come to Five9, and it's been really very, very blessed.
I'm catching a theme here, right? So you saw your father as an accountant. That's kind of how you said, okay, I want to, get into the numbers, game. Also, you have this. absolute type of personality. You don't deal with ambiguity well. And then also shout out to the wives who are pushing their husbands into following their dreams. Right, like you wanted to work at a public company, so you're over in Brussels. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this little story thus far. Okay, all right. So you just make me think of another question. Five Nine is a global company, and I'm not going to ask you anything about. So y'all not going to get no financials, none of that on this. And this is not what this is. Okay, this is a getting to know you session. But Five Nine is a global company, and so I'm always just thinking about Solid Rock. Right, we have some presence over in the London market now, and so I'm always thinking about okay, we have US presence and how we're doing numbers here and accounting for things here versus over with our UK expenses and all of those different things. So, as a global organization, right, and you see everything, you oversee all of it. Um, how does that change the team dynamic and the skill sets that you're looking for and all of those different things?
First, just a compliment on that name, Solid Rock. It really gives an impression like it's Fort Knox, that it's as solid as it can possibly be. To answer your question, it's going to strike you as odd. Um, the most important thing is not the particular legislation in the country or the form of a legal entity or something like that. The most important thing is what you sort of touch on, which is the culture. The thing that makes Five Nine successful is Mike in his being. He built the culture and has maintained it. Rowan was recruited in part because we felt he could maintain that culture. Because at the end of the day, and even more so now, people are not just working for the paycheck. They want to be happy in their job. If I'm giving advice to my children as to what to look for, that's the avoiding a toxic culture, and there are companies out there, is the most important thing. And of course, there's huge differences between what makes a Belgian tick versus a New Zealander versus a Brazilian versus an American, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, uh, there are actually studies on what are the different things in terms of masculinity and femininity, power distance index, and the like. But at the end of the day, uh, having a homogeneous culture that people can sort of have as a bedrock is super important.
I know we're over our time, and I could sit here and talk to you for forever, but I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me again. I appreciate it, and it's been super valuable.
Abs- Absolutely charming, Juanita. Thank you for the opportunity. I mean it.
All right, guys. So that is your 5 and 9. I don't know what time it is actually right now, but thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this was valuable and insightful for you. Until next time, go be great. Bye.